Launching in 2013, Arena's Carbon series has grown over the years. It currently features 3 different models, with the Carbon Ultra being at the top, the Carbon Flex VX in the middle, and then the Carbon Air at the bottom, in terms of price at least. Although Arena advertise and market all 3 for different uses, depending on how much comfort and how much compression you want in your tech suit. Now, actually looking at the top level of swimming, you will actually see a huge range of swimmers use all 3 of these suits. And I'd actually say, even though it's the cheapest, as many people use the Carbon Air as they do the Flex, which both are probably more used than the Carbon Ultra. Back in 2013, when they launched the original Carbon, the Pro, I loved it. It was tight, compressing, and I used it in all my races. As I predominantly do just sprints, it was great for my personal use. But I know that they got a lot of feedback in terms of comfort and flexibility, which led to the launch of the Carbon Flex, which initially they advertised for breaststrokers and backstrokers, with the Pro being marketed as their fly and freestyle suit. Fast forward, the Air got launched in 2016, and then re-updated in 2018 to a Mark II version that I have here. And along the way, they also dropped the Ultra, which was now their super comfortable and super compressing suit, which has caging inside. I have experience of all the suits other than the Carbon Flex VX. I have a original Carbon Flex, but it's now updated. It's more of a power suit, and it actually seems to be taking up the Pro's position in the lineup, which is weird because it's different to what it originally was known for. We'll do a Carbon Ultra review soon, but my first review will be of the Carbon Air, which I have right here. The reason they're known as the Carbon series is because they feature carbon fiber. The Pro, the Flex, and the Air all feature 1% of carbon fiber. This also has 65% polyamide, 34% elastane, and then that 1% carbon fiber. All suits have that 1%, other than the Carbon Ultra, which ups the ante to 3%. All the other suits in the Carbon series have a sort of checkered layering of their carbon fiber, so they have horizontal and vertical stripes of carbon fiber. But for extra comfort, the Air only has carbon fiber going in a horizontal direction, which means that you have great compression this way, but not so much going this way. Based on its name, the Carbon Air, this is a very, very, very light suit, which goes hand in hand with it being comfortable and easy to put on. When I say this is light, I've never had a tech suit as light as this. I mean, when I got this, it come through with the Ultra as well, and I held one in each hand. This was, a quarter of the weight. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but a quarter of the weight of the Ultra. If you're not someone who wants super tight, super thick suits, a lighter suit's gonna be better, especially if it's still water repellent. As I said, this is the cheapest in the range, and depending on what color you get, you can actually get a very good price on this. I think this purple or plum version, as they call it, can go as cheap as £120 from Pro Swimwear in the UK. And although the price does go up to about £160 if you want that black on black version, or their new special white on white version, you can actually just get the cheapest colour and get a very, very good deal, making this not actually in the premium or top range of suits, where you can save a little money or maybe get almost 3 for the price of 2 should you want more suits. It's not to say it's a lesser quality. I think this is a great suit. My biggest concern with it would be the durability. As I said, I've only worn this a couple of times, but I can already see slight fraying on the bonded seams around the groin. All this thinner material, so thin that I can actually see through the material. I have got it on authority that after a fair few wears, these do become very stretched, they lose their water repellency, and they start to get a bit tatty or even tear. Compare it to something much thicker like the Carbon Ultra or the Mizuno GX Sonic 3, and I think you are going to get a lot more longevity in those suits. So while this is maybe great while it lasts, it may not last as long, which may be represented in its price. In terms of water repellency, it does a pretty good job. As you can see, it's completely repelling that water there. It's not even being absorbed in the slightest of the suit. Shaking off, you wouldn't even know I've touched this with water. I would say you feel the effects of the water repellency when racing in this suit. Even though it's very thin, you feel a slight propulsion, not to the degree of other suits, but definitely a slight propulsion as you dive in. I purchased this in a size 26. I use a 28 in the Pro, Ultra and the Flex, although I think I should be a 26 in the Flex as well. But based on this sort of more comfortable, easier to put on size, I definitely recommend getting this in a smaller size than you would in the other Carbon models. Let's get this on and see how it looks. So I've got the Carbon Air on now, and as you can see, it is a fairly minimalist suit in terms of fitting. It has less coverage than both the Carbon Flex and the Carbon Ultra, and considerably less than something like the Mizuno or the new Finney's rival with their higher waists. For this sort of style suit, it's perfect. It sits low enough on my hip, below your V-lines, and sits well and truly above your knee, which I like in terms of mobility when I race, and I hate the suits like the old Finneys Vapor that come down to your kneecaps, and I've talked about that enough times before. The fit, I think, is perfect for this, and it sort of embodies what the Carbon Air is about, being light, comfortable, flexible. So it makes sense to not have that sort of high-waisted design or anything along those lines, even compared to the Carbon Ultra, which sits a little higher in certain areas with its internal cages. I love the feel of the material, which I would say would be a sort of cross between the original Carbon Pro, which is quite a tense and not very flexible suit, and a little bit more of that papery iteration of something like the Speedo Laser Racer Elite. This sort of fits somewhere in the middle ground with a nice balance between the positive aspects of both suits. There are certain areas, such as this seam down the side, which I just don't know if it's the best quality available, where I almost feel like I could grab hold of this black layer here and peel it back off the purple. Something you definitely wouldn't see on some of the more expensive suits out there. But then again, that is reflected in the price. Just having a quick look around the suit so you can see all areas of it. So you can see how it fits from the back as well, and of course from the side and the front. There's little more to add than what I've already said. In terms of the outright performance of this suit, I hope you can tell by now I'm really impressed by it, especially at its lower cost. I think it becomes a very easy jack of all trades suit. Decent compression, decent water repellency, and then it does excel with its lightweight material, its very comfortable fit, its great mobility, and also the ease of putting on, which I know would put a lot of people off suit. Delving a little bit further into the performance of this suit, I'll take you through my experiences racing in it. One of the races I wore this in was the 100 metres butterfly short course. Not only did I set a PB, which was great, I felt like it supported me at the latter part of the race, where I feel like my hips generally sink a little bit. Not as much as I experienced with the Mizuno, still to a decent degree. I think it really felt great around the walls. I felt like I could tuck up quickly, I could explode off, and my underwater phases was very nice. I mean, I must say this suit was worn in both the short course 100 and 200 metre butterfly world records by Chad Leclerc. Chad is one of Arena's flagship sponsored athletes, and this is his suit of choice. He always will go with the Carbon Air in one of its many colours. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best Carbon series available today, regardless of the fact that it's cheaper than the Ultra and Flex. I would say it impresses me much as the original Pro did, which back in the day was my go-to suit, and I had sort of 4 or 5 of them that I wore solely at any of my major competitions. And until the release of the Mizuno, it was my favourite suit, and this is the first Carbon that's been released since the discontinuation of the Carbon Pro that I've actually preferred. And I think it just sort of has some of the great features of the Pro, and then does a little bit better in other areas such as comfort and fit. That's why outside of suits such as the Mizuno and the Finneys rival, this is probably one of my only other recommendations, because it comes at such a cheaper price. And I think if you want great performance at a lower cost, then the Arena Carbon Air is going to be one of the few directions you can take. As I said, this purple colour, which I really like actually, with this neon yellow Arena logo, comes at just £120 from Pro Swimwear. And while, yeah, you can pay a little bit more money for some different colours, it's not necessary. And even if you source around on the internet a bit further, I reckon you could get these even cheaper than £120. That to me is one of the biggest bargains in tech suits at the moment, and I really can't exaggerate that enough, how good this is for the price. And as I said, if you're someone who doesn't want to wear something heavy, then this is the lightest suit on the market. I hope you like this review. If you do like my channel, please do share it with your swimming mates. Subscribing is going to really support me. Additional support can be done by following my Instagram page, TheSwimsuitGuy95, where I'll try and post more regular updates on new suits I'm getting, just some news. Thanks again, and see you soon.